Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just type S in the chat box. Yes, fine. So many of you are able to hear me. So we'll start our session. Good morning to everyone. When most people hear the term artificial intelligence, the first thing they usually think is of robots. That's because big budget films and novels weave stories about human-like machines that wreak havoc on Earth. But nothing could be further from the truth. Artificial intelligence is based on the principle that.
Hey, hello everyone.
Hi, Barney.
Let me put a poll question on whether you all are able to hear me or not. Are you all able to hear me? Yes or a no? Can you please take a poll question? Wonderful, wonderful. A lot of you all are able to hear me. So, Dr. Mohan?
Yes, Barney. Can you hear me?
We are not able to hear you. I'm not able to hear you.
I can hear it, Barney. I can hear Dr.
So maybe
Mohan.
there'll be a mic option. I see that you have enabled your mic as well, but not sure why, but we are unable to hear you. Enoch, are you there?
I'm here, Barney. I think I can hear Dr.
Enoch?
I can hear you, Barney.
Let me quickly cross check with Enoch. Yep. Hello, Dr. Mohan. Now, can you just try unmuting and can you speak?
Barney, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear you, Dr. Mohan. Sorry, I think I have muted myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Barney. Good morning, everyone. Artificial intelligence is based on the principle that human intelligence can be defined in a way that a machine can easily mimic it and execute tasks from the most simple to those that are even more complex. The goals of artificial intelligence include learning, reasoning, and perception. There is an increasing need for intelligent and accurate decision making across industries. This has led to an exponential growth in the adoption of artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies, and they are expected to remain relevant in years to come. But what about artificial intelligence in life sciences and pharma sector? Are machines going to replace technicians in the laboratory? Can we use artificial intelligence in predicting a disease? Will artificial intelligence impact on employment? Hold on. We have many questions in our mind. Mr. Barani, the speaker of today's webinar, is going to clear all your doubts. Good morning, everyone. I, Dr. Mohan Gandhi, Associate Professor, Sri Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, cordially welcome you to this one-day webinar on artificial intelligence. I specially thank Mr. Barani for accepting our request in spite of his very busy schedule. We have about 2,400 registrations across the nation and few registrations from other countries like UK, US, Sri Lanka, Indonesia. The humongous response from the audience show their interest and enthusiasm towards artificial intelligence. I am pretty sure that our beloved speaker, Mr. Barani Kumar, would certainly meet your expectations with his live presentation. With these few words, I invite Pavani Gayatri, Assistant Professor, Sri Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, to give glimpses about the college.
A very good morning to all participants, our honorable guests, management members, faculty members, our principal sir, and all other participants. I, Pavani Gayatri, Assistant Professor of Pharmaceutical Analysis, the Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Analysis, would like to give you a brief view on the Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences. It was established in 2005 by the Vasavi Educational Society, which has substantial experience in running an engineering college since 2001. Subsequently, PG courses were introduced in the college from 2010. All the BPharm and MPharm courses were affiliated to Andhra University, Visakhapatnam, and they are approved by AICTE and PCA New Delhi.
Okay.
It has an intake of 100 seats for B Pharmacy and 15 seats in each branch of M Pharmacy, that is Pharmaceutical Analysis, Pharmaceutics, Pharmacology. Highlights of Vasavi include faculty with vast teaching experience and experience in research, practical-oriented teaching, e-learning, digital library, sports, and gym. Labs with sophisticated equipment. It also includes clean and green environment with effective faculty and principal sir. It also has training centers in various equipment. With these few words, I welcome you all to the webinar of artificial intelligence in healthcare and pharma sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavani ma'am, for the introduction. Our principal sir and Dr. V. Bhaskar Raju garu, HOD, both of them are having some technical issues. They will join later. Now, I take privilege in inviting our technical director, Sri H. Apparao garu, to give his valuable address to the participants. Over to you, sir. Hello. Enough? Can you
We
hear
can
me?
hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Enough? Can you confirm whether Apparao sir is online?
There are about 3 people, 2 people apart from Dr. Mohan.
Okay.
I am not sure if that one of the 2 people is Dr. Apparao. I'm not sure of it.
One
Hi,
second.
this is Apparo. I'm here.
Apparao sir, go ahead.
Okay, hi. I just got disconnected and I had to connect back again. Good morning to everybody. I'm really happy that there are so many participants and to see Mohan Gandhi actually trying to get through what this program does. And it is really, I welcome Mr. Bharani Kumar, and who has accepted our invitation to be part of this program. I know there is a lot of, when we talk about artificial intelligence, it is it's like an ocean and a sky where there is unlimited scope of development. And I'm really happy that being pharmaceuticals, they're actually encouraging these kind of webinars. And I'm glad that you know, there's so much that we can learn. Usually it is just not only engineering subject, but it is also how the pharma industry can be developed using this artificial intelligence. And I welcome all of you as part of this program, and I thank Mr. Mohan Gandhi to make me as part of this webinar. Thank you. Welcome all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable greetings. Now I invite Mr. K.S. Sumant, Assistant Professor, to introduce our speaker to the participants. Over to you, Sumant. Sumant, sir, are you there?
Okay.
Go ahead, Sumant.
Good morning to all. I am Sumant Srinivas, working as Assistant Professor in Sri Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Take a great privilege in introducing our honorable speaker, Mr. D. Bharani Kumar. He is CEO and Managing Director of 360 DGTMG and Director of Innodatics USA. He is alumnus of Indian School of Business and IIT with over 14 years of industrial experience. He has got 8 years of extensive experience in training students of different digital platforms. Mr. Bharani Kumar has completed various international technical and management certifications, which include PMP, PMI ACP, PMI RMP, CSM, CSPO, CST, DSMD, Lean Six Sigma, and Tableau. He has successfully delivered more than 40 big data and analytics projects for several reputed organizations. He has trained more than 4,000 professionals across the globe. Mr. Bharani Kumar served in many positions from data scientist to chief advisor and director for several international projects in MNCs like HSBC, ITC, Infotech, Infosys, Deloitte. He is presently serving as director and chief data scientist for several international companies, and he is also a visiting faculty in Woxen Business School. With this brief introduction, I take immense pleasure in inviting Mr. Bharani Kumar to enlighten the participants with his magical and mesmerizing speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, for inviting me as a speaker. It's truly an honor. I'm really delighted today because not many people are forward looking, not many people are futuristic in terms of what technology can do and what kind of disruptions technology is bringing to the various industries. And one of the industries where AI and deep learning, artificial intelligence and deep learning, and data science and data analytics is extensively being used is in the space of life sciences healthcare. So let me share my screen and yeah. I also work with life sciences healthcare analytics startups, not one but two, very closely. I serve on their board. I bring onto their table a few of the amazing use cases which can be readily implemented. And I personally interact with doctors from Apollo Hospital and then Dr. L.V. Prasad Eye Hospital and a few other hospitals. I will speak more about, what AI and data science would do and is doing for life sciences healthcare. even before we get into that, I wish to briefly introduce myself, and a few of you all have been asking in the chat on can I also watch this on YouTube Live? Absolutely. I'm not sure whether the sticky note is visible to you all or not. Let me draw it and see if someone can see it. If you're connected from your desktop, you would see the links. The first link is our YouTube channel. You can just click on that and this session will be visible live for you all. I can also just quickly for a minute click on that and show you. Yeah, it's a view because I've already subscribed. You guys might want to subscribe by clicking on this subscribe button, and then I think you should be able to see, right? It's just about clicking on subscribe and subscribing. Okay, having said that, let me move on. Let me quickly, while our professors have introduced me, I also would like to introduce myself very quickly. And I want to show you a few of the projects that we have posted, which is related to life sciences healthcare. So that's me, friends. As our professor has introduced me, I'm an alumnus of Indian School of Business and IIT, and I serve as a chief data scientist on Brontobet Analytics, which is in the space of life sciences healthcare. We have done a few projects. I'll speak briefly about those. I happen to be a chief data scientist on Athena Technologies, and I work with Deloitte, Infosys, ITC, and HSBC. And these were the certifications which our dear professor was speaking about. Having said that, it's all about being social to be able to, you know, make the best use of the resources. So that's my LinkedIn profile, which I've just put on the chat window. If you all want to connect with me and ask any questions pertaining to analytics or AI or deep learning, please go ahead. And I wish to get started by explaining you all that there is a project which we have done in collaboration with Apollo Hospitals. And this was all about building a forecasting model to forecast the number of COVID-19 cases. And our project that we have done was so well taken because it has given us an accuracy of 98% in forecasting the number of COVID-19 cases. And we forecasted with a horizon of 1 month, meaning from today, how many cases would you see in the next 1 month, in the next 30 days? This is called as forecasting horizon. Forecasting horizon. Okay. And our results and the project that we have done was very well received even by South Korean clients. Having said that, Indian government was very firm saying that please do not do any forecasting or any predictions pertaining to COVID-19. So that is the reason why we backed off. Okay. And if you want to watch this video, it's there on the, once again, YouTube channel. This video speaks briefly within an hour about, of course, barring the initial discussion wherein I probably introduce various things. Maybe you can go to, if I'm not mistaken, you can go to, approximately 20th minute or 19th minute. And then from here on, it's all about what was the data, how did we pre-process the data, and what were the various techniques used, right? And how did we actually forecast back then when I've done it? I'm not sure about the date and time, but then let me see, when was it uploaded? Yeah, April. The number of data points were very limited. I am 100% sure that if I implement this now, accuracies will be even better. Having said that, with all due respect to Indian government, I would not do that. Okay, but this is for your own watch for your own practice if you are interested. Okay, that's the stuff there. And okay, someone is asking to post. Enoch, can you be a little active on the chat window? People are asking for the YouTube links and all that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me do
And then, yeah, all you need to do is just click on the subscribe, and then all these videos are yours. Even this video that is being played now is getting recorded, and you'll get access to that. All right. Back to our discussion. Data storage, first thing. There is a lot of data which is getting stored in terms of life sciences, healthcare, in terms of pharmacy, etc. And why are the organizations going gaga behind data? Because the devices are shrinking and devices capacity is increasing and devices are becoming very reliable. And that is the reason why people are going after data. There's a lot of data which gets generated in life sciences healthcare analytics. You should not be just looking at life sciences or just looking at healthcare or just looking at pharmaceutical industries. You also have to look at what goes in as an input into any of these companies. What goes as an input to pharmaceutical companies, right? I'll put it as pharma, it'll be easier. And what comes out as an output. You can implement analytics not just in this space, but what comes in and what goes out. Not just in pharma, in healthcare, in life sciences. It's up to you on how you define and how you analyze and how you reap the benefits. Opportunities are umpteen, my dear friends, umpteen. Okay, and then you'll have administrative data, insurance data. When we speak about healthcare, you do not just confine yourself only to healthcare stuff, but only to EMR data, but you can also expand the horizon, expand the scope, and then look at hospital maintenance, clinical data, hospital EMR data, physician data, therapeutic clinical data, wearable devices data. This is all the data that is extremely famous. And when you analyze the data, those people, even people who are into research, you would become successful if you can get the data not just from your immediate interest. That means if someone says, hey, can you predict on whether a patient will get readmitted to the hospital or not? That's called as patient readmission model. You might feel, hey, what big deal, and why should we even do that? Here, maybe it is not a big deal, but in the Western world, if a patient gets readmitted to a hospital within 30 days, then the benefits that the hospitals would get would be null and void. Right? So, Affordable Care Act, and there are a lot of laws which govern at least the US market in a big way. And here, if you do not want the patient to get readmitted to the hospital, you also need to track whether the patient is taking the medicines on time or not. Right? Whether probably you would have told to the patient that, do you know what? You should walk daily for 30 minutes at least. How do you as a hospital even track on whether the patient is walking for 30 minutes or not? Wearable devices, Internet of Things devices. So do not confine your scope only to the chemicals which are mixed together to come up with a stable molecule. That's not just the scope that you need to look at. Preclinical studies, major organ toxicity, acute and chronic toxicity, then carcinogenicity, and all these things. Clinical trials has various phases. We all know that, even more than what we knew earlier because of COVID-19. Post-marketing surveillance, I'll speak about a specific use case and how it helps. And one of our past participant has joined Novartis as a senior data scientist recently. Ravi, right? I can show his email ID if you want to get in touch with that guy. He's there on my LinkedIn profile as well. He had absolutely no background from pharma, right? And he was still recruited in Novartis as a senior data scientist. He has done his MBA from IMT Ghaziabad, which is one of the well-known management institutes, but then IMT Ghaziabad and then MBA. How is he related to pharmacy? He was into digital marketing doing analytics there. He was hired because data science has no restrictions on which industry or sector you need to belong to. Please do not assume that only people from IT background can get into this MBA background, right? He got into Novartis. And imagine you all with B pharmacy and M pharmacy background, if you can couple your domain knowledge with the data science, what would happen to you? You would be hot cake in the market. I have no doubt on that. You are the future data scientist when it comes to life sciences healthcare because you know better. With all due respect to Mr. Ravi, who has joined Novartis as a senior data scientist, and with all due respect to myself, I would say you guys should be the front runners and you guys will be the front runners when it comes to job opportunities in this space. Life sciences, microscopy imaging, genomics, genetic data, right? Single cell omics data set. All these are the data sets which come in extremely handy. Okay, when you do analytics. I hope that I don't forget any of the use cases that I wanted to tell you, but then let's see. So what are the various things that are generating data? Healthcare smart devices, which is going to track various things, right? All these are the devices. Organ on a chip. What people are doing is they're just taking a portion of your organ, putting it on a chip, and then making it grow on the chip. And then they are capturing a lot of analytics. Chip in a pill. There was very recently this aircraft, right? And the longest craft journey from US to Australia, if I'm not mistaken. That was the longest, I believe. Yeah. So Qantas is about to test the world's longest non-stop flight from New York to Australia. Let me put this. Already it has tested, by the way. Is about to test is an outdated number there, but they have already tested. Okay, so recently they tested the world's longest flight from New York to Sydney, 19 hours non-stop. It means a lot. And in those 19 hours, how do you track the, passengers? Are they, getting some kind of vomiting sensation? Or were they okay throughout the journey? Right? All those things were tracked by giving them chip in a pill. So they were giving them pills. Pills would actually subside their, if they have any uneasy feeling, then it would subside that. Alongside, it was tracking a lot of parameters. Is it harmful? Oh no, not at all. They tried it. These are decomposable chips. Google Glass. People started experimenting. Google Glass wasn't a success because of capturing the privacy, but then when it comes to operation theaters, yeah, when the doctor is actually operating, can Google Glass keep capturing the video And can it actually suggest the physician or doctor if something is going wrong? Maybe doctor accidentally forgot something and then was about to stitch the cut. Quickly Google Glass will say, hey doctor, you forgot something inside. It seems to be a metal. Oh yeah. These kind of things keep happening, right? And what if AI and data science can help? iBeacons, these are like routers that you have. I'll speak more about this later. And then you have smart wheelchairs. You know what? You need to tag all these things to the use cases. For example, in Japan, what's happening in Japan is the aging population is increasing, and thanks to the advancements in life sciences and healthcare, the lifespan of the people has also increased significantly. They were in the early days, people used to live for only a few years because of lack of treatment, but now because of the treatment, they are able to expand their lifespan. And then in Japan, because of that, people have started using robotic nursing. Okay, so what this robotic nursing does is, robots are used because the working population has reduced, the elderly population has increased. So you need more of nurses to take care of the elderly population, and we do not have people pursuing nursing in Japan. So they came up with this robotic stuff. Let me also show economist. Uh, is this the one? Let me see. Yep. So what's happening is they started putting sensors, and the moment there is some bowel movement, right? The moment someone wants to go to washroom, it sends an alert, and then you can quickly go, and you can fix. And if it's a lady nurse, for example, she might not be having the strength to lift the elderly person and take this person to washroom. So can I use a robot to help? All these things are going to capture the data, which is then going to help you analyze further. Sensors in drug discovery devices captures a lot of data. We have briefly done something for Dr. Reddy's. I'll speak about that also. Wristbands, wearable devices. The moment you're discharged, it's going to track on whether, for example, say there is an elderly woman, okay, who daily wakes up at 6 a.m. or in between 6 to 6:15 a.m. and you'll see that she walks. On one fine day, until 9:15, she didn't wake up. So probably you as a hospital might want to call her immediately. No, she wasn't responding. So something might have gone wrong. Immediately you can trigger off your emergency services so as to save that person. There is something called as WBAN, sorry, wireless body area network, which also captures a lot of things, biological functions such as temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, ECG, respiration, all of these over a period of time. And then that can be used for analytics to save the people. And do you know what? If you all are wondering on, hey, how is biomedical and all that related, look at this. Internet of medical devices, medical things is estimated to be $158.1 billion by 2022. If you can garner your skills in line of the emerging technologies, future belongs to you. And this is a quick insight wherein I'm really very excited to tell you that life expectancy will grow. I jokingly say this, that do you know what? After a certain age, you know, diseases will not let you live and doctors will not let you die. Okay, hope you're getting me. After a certain age, you'll have a lot of diseases. They will not let you live. On the other side, doctors will not let you die. Okay, whatever happens in between is all about life sciences healthcare. And that's a huge market. Yeah, I might be sounding very uh, different here. You might not agree with me that, hey, this is not a nice explanation, but then, yep, whatever happens there is life sciences healthcare. Okay, then you have a lot of life sciences healthcare spending. By 2022, continents, countries, areas across the globe would be increasing their spend in a significant manner. And you know what? In life sciences and healthcare, the market for virtual patient simulations is expected to grow almost 20% a year. And it is going to become $1.5 billion industry. I can show you. As and how I keep talking, probably it makes sense for me to at least search and show you what is the kind of work that we'd keep doing. Virtual patient project, right? AI virtual patient. So we are working on that. We have worked on the space of autism along with IBM Watson. Abhinav, who is one of our trainers, extensively worked on this. I won't open that. A few of those are um, should be confined to our knowledge only. But then work is going on in that space. Smart hospitals, right? A lot of projects is what we have done. I personally have overseen a lot of those projects. And what's happening in the space of AI and data science? Google AI is beating the doctors at breast cancer detection. It is better than doctors. And are you being bullish on this statement? Absolutely no, because we have presented our paper at you know, at a bio event. Why am I missing out on the name of that? And this is the project that we have presented there, the entire product, right? And yep, it's all about taking your mammography images, radiology images, pathology images, and then building your cancer prediction model, sending the insights to oncologists, so on and so forth. Let me also briefly talk about this other project. We include that as part of a text mining. I need to check whether that's there or not there, not there. So I will have to pull up something else. Just give me a bit. I will say text mining. Where did that go? Or I would certainly show it to you guys. That's all about, that's one of the interesting projects in the space of pharmaceutical. So I'll speak about that. And then we have worked in the space. We have also worked in the space of diabetic retinopathy. A few of the people were reaching out to me saying that, hey, we want to work on that space. So there is only so much that I can do, friends. I can give you directions, but I cannot give you data. I cannot onboard you guys onto the projects either, because then we will have to check what is the knowledge level that you have and how you can contribute. But these use cases certainly are there on our website also. I will direct you to that. So AI is helping pathologists quickly scan and evaluate the samples, right? A healthcare startup is developing cancer fighting AI. In the space of pharma, French startup Ictos and pharma firm Almiral, they announced a research collaboration in AI for new drug design. Accenture, how is Accenture related to this? Accenture is in the space of IT consulting, is what you might feel. But be it Accenture or be it Deloitte or be it Infosys or TCS or Wipro, they have life sciences and healthcare as different industries. And they have people like you who are specialized in pharmacy, um, and various other specializations, who work in the space of data science. Cigna uses AI to check if patients are taking their medicines on time or not. People are really worried about their reputation. Okay, if patient doesn't take medicine on time, then the patient gets readmitted to the hospital and the brand image will take a dent. Singapore approves AI for vascular ultrasound scans. And you know what? Physiotherapists, doctors in the space of sports, they want to predict the injuries upfront. You get injured, come, I'll treat you is one way of dealing. But I will help you not to get an injury is the way of life now. Analytics, being futuristic. Okay. And AI adopters beginning to see success predicting the readmissions. Physicians burnout, especially at the time of COVID-19. What if we would have had a lot of maturity in the space of AI? A lot of these doctors who are just getting burned out because of too many cases to handle, they would have been a lot more relaxed. Many things. So speeding up the drug discovery, you all know, and I'm also aware that it would take 4 years or 5 years or sometimes decade to come up with a stable compound, blockbuster drug, the way you call it. But then your AI is helping, organizations in a big way in terms of reducing the drug discovery or drug development time. Machine learning is used to develop in just 46 days a potential new drug to prevent tissue scarring. Right? And AI can gauge the risk of you dying from heart conditions within 15 minutes. What a time that we are living in, right? Look at the opportunities. By 2020, AI will create more jobs than it would eliminate in the industries such as healthcare. Okay, your roles will become even more important. Growth in AI healthcare market is expected to reach $6.6 billion by 2021. And these are the various spaces like robotic assisted surgery, virtual nursing assistant. Because of COVID-19, everything will be robotic driven surgeries. People need not travel. They'll use robots to actually do the surgery, virtual nursing. Robots won't do, doctors would do, but with the assistance of robots. Right? Fraud detection in the space of medical insurance, connected machines, dosage error reduction. How much dose should I give to a patient? Can we be rest assured that everyone has good understanding? Would there be no human error? Can you guarantee me that? Right? All these kind of things. Preliminary diagnosis, clinical trial participant identifier, automated image diagnosis. There are a bunch of those. Right? So, yeah. And this is one of the state of the art implementations that we have done, or at least started in the space of life sciences healthcare industry. This is for a Malaysian client, and amazing folks they are, right? They are extremely futuristic in terms of coming up with a smart hospital. I would speak briefly about this and you will all be like, wow. So the moment you want to book an appointment, you can open their app, hospital app, and then you can enable the webcam and you can record the video of yours, give your vehicle number and the time that you want to get an appointment, so on and so forth. And then you say start your vehicle. Okay, and by the time you reach the gate of the hospital, okay, here there'll be barricade for security purposes. And then what would this barricade do? It would open up only after scanning your number plate and recognizing that it's your vehicle. And within the hospital basement, you need to go and park your vehicle. And where will you park it? in the nearest parking lot, because the amount of time taken for you to complete your medical tests and go home should be reduced. That's the objective. So within your basement, you cannot have GPS. Hence, you'll have something called as geofencing, and then it will direct you to the nearest parking lot. You go and park your vehicle there. There'll be height sensors used to measure on whether that parking lot is empty or not. And then you go inside, and then here there'll be a machine similar to this on this side. We weren't supposed to um, take any image there, but then we managed by just requesting the CEO, and we weren't given a lot of options to take nice pictures. So this is the max I could go back. And then here, if you stand in front of this using your video analytics, already you have shared your video here. So video recognition is on, and it will recognize that it is you, and it will direct you to do it yourself. A few of the things such as height and weight you measure, digitally it is recorded, go sit on this, capture various other parameters. There is temperature sensor, etc., which is available. All those are captured. And while you go and visit the physician already has information about all these vital parameters of the patient. Okay, and all the conversations usually are recorded on a piece of paper, which you misplace, and hospitals do not bother to record. So your historical health conditions are not known, at least in India. That's a pathetic story that we are facing. No historical information of the patients, not digitally recorded. Then how would you even do any analytics? The first thing is data has to be captured, right? These folks are doing very well. Doctor will have a Bluetooth, and all the conversations that happen between the doctor and the patient is digitally recorded, and it is placed in a database such as your name, age, what are the symptoms that you had, what is the medication that the doctor has prescribed. Everything is recorded. That's it. And then you go stand here using video analytics. You are identified, and then automatically bill is generated. You make the payment using a card or whatever. There are multiple options available, cash, card, whatever be it. You make the payment, and then you move here, and here what happens is your medicines are disbursed to you. You just take that, dispensed to you. You just take that and then move away. And you know what, behind the scenes, how robots work in order to give you those medicines is also visible. And this is my photo. I was just standing in front of that, and then they were demonstrating it to me on how it works. And what was our role? Our role was to build an AI-driven chatbot. Okay, this chatbot was built based on CPG documents, clinical practice guidelines, and then there is something called as SNOMED. Okay, from these we have taken the data and we have built the chatbot wherein you ask your questions and it will respond. Questions could be, what drug should I give to this patient and what should be the dosage? It would quickly respond back from the best practices. Clinical practice guidelines means bunch of doctors sit together, they all are on the same page. Even if a single doctor says, I do not agree, it will not get into the CPG. So that's how powerful these CPG documents are. It's very, very costly affair to just get one CPG for a specific condition or disease out. Okay, this is something that I've already spoken about. And okay, now I will get here and then speak about a few other use cases that we have in the space of life sciences healthcare. How do you increase the success rate of clinical trials? Okay, to answer this, what we have done is we have gone to clinicaltrials.gov. Back then when I've done, there were 164,000 research studies. Today, as we stand, the number of cases have actually increased more than 100%. 34, 347,000 research studies across 50 states of US and 216 countries. Data is available here. Okay. And then what did we do? Let me go there. I'll just do a simple search. I'll just want to take one or two. That's it. I just want to download maybe the top 10 studies, all available columns. And when you go with XML, you'll have a lot of data which would be available. Let me open this. Okay, this is our typical clinical trial looks like. I'm sure people who are from pharmacy background should be B pharmacy, M pharmacy. You all are, I'm sure, aware of these things, right? So the condition means disease, respiratory, virus infection, and then excuse me for my spellings here. Okay, pronunciation might be different. Okay, placebo, you anyways know that, and RSV vaccine formulation, etc. is given. What is we have taken all these as inputs. Who is the lead sponsor? What is the minimum age, maximum age? Well, what is the gender that you're targeting? How many people have enrolled? Right, so on and so forth. There were various other things, and given all these things, you'll also have what amount of dosage was given. That information also will be there. You just need to spend some time on this. Okay, then using all that, we actually went on to build a predictive model to predict on whether a clinical trial would be successful or not. Will a clinical trial be successful or a failure? And we will see on how I can show you that. Maybe I need to transfer it from a different location, or let me give a try now on text mining. Let me test out text mining here, because no, it's not just predictive analytics. You can also do some kind of text mining. While that opens up, I can show you more things. Okay. Yeah, it's here. Sorry, my bad. Okay. So what we have done is we have taken the data from clinical trials. I might have deleted a few introductory notes here on how we extracted and all that. And when we do text mining, you can understand on why clinical trials are failing, what could be the reason. But then this is called as unigram, a single word cloud. And here it says that due to accrual, enrollment, terminated, slow, safety, but then you really cannot get too much of insight. Then we have done cluster dendrogram, and this dendrogram clearly says that a trial terminated because of slow enrollment, slow accrual, etc. And then we have done semantic network. Rather than reading all the 161,000 clinical trials, it was easier for us to do a semantic network to understand what's happening. So the detailed description or the reason behind the termination was lack or slow or insufficient funding. Could be. Of course, you have to spend a lot of time as opposed to reading 161,000 clinical trials to determine why clinical trials are failing. Probably it makes sense for you to do this. Slow enrollment, slow accrual, low enrollment, safety concerns, safety issues. But then when we have read this in the context, meaning when we have done a control F and when we have searched for safety, and then when we have done the search, we found that in all the clinical trials, it was clearly listed that there were no safety concerns. But by looking at this, you would be tempted to say that because of safety issues, clinical trials got terminated. But that's not the reason. Major reason is low enrollment, accrual, and all that. Because if you say hey, I'll pay you $1 million, but I'll test you all the drugs. I'll test all the possible drugs on you. No one would be willing to risk their life, right? We have done some kind of clustering and we have done all these analytics. Okay, this is one thing. And then we have also done something else in the space of, clinical trials, which was all about, okay, what should be the combination of interventions for a specific condition? And we have used something called as association rules. Okay, of course, we have used a lot of science behind the scenes to do that. We in the past built a model to predict what is the risk of patients getting readmitted in the hospital. For an insurance company, they want to predict who are those customers who might claim insurance. And upfront, if you can predict that, it is going to, help insurance company to reduce the number of claims by ensuring that they send proactive alerts to the patients or the potential patients, saying that, hey, you might fall sick, you're not leading a healthy lifestyle. So for that, insurance companies nowadays are giving away wearable devices along with the insurance policy, because that way they track and then they keep sending proactive alerts saying that, start leading a healthy lifestyle. We have built a model in the space of triple negative breast cancer, and we worked alongside a doctor from Chennai, Dr. Jovita Martin. And we have used image processing to predict cancer based on tumor images. We have used wearable devices to predict various diseases and reduce the insurance claims. These are just snapshot of the kind of projects that we have worked on. What else did we do? We have built in the past models, predictive models. Where did that go? Did I close it? Okay. We have taken lung X-ray images. Okay, why is it not appearing? Oh, this is, sorry, yeah. For COVID-19, by looking at your X-ray image, can we predict on whether a patient has COVID-19 or not? Can we do that? Yes, we can. Did you do that? Yes, we have. Okay, and then we have certain heart diseases, right? Predicting the cardiovascular disease. Okay, there are multiple classes available. When it comes to cardiovascular diseases, there are many things which come into picture. We have built this model also. Okay, then not just that, this is all about diagnosing coronary artery disease. Okay, we have done those kind of projects. Then we have also worked in the space of diabetes. We have worked in the space of DNA classification. Okay, here, if I'm not mistaken, we have data of 303 patients. Okay, and you have a lot of data, available. Of course, when you collect the data, there are a few data security norms, etc., which I'll speak about in the next 5 minutes or so. Then we have worked in the space of DNA sequencing. If you all are aware of DNA sequencing, it's good, but then it's a complex subject to study. For this specific project that we have done, we have looked at 106 DNA sequences and 57 sequential nucleotides for each of those. And then we have looked at DNA classification. Okay, we have done a lot of data pre-processing and all that. So that's this data. Do we have anything else? I have a lot of other things, but then in the interest of time, I would like to move on. And whenever you build or whenever you do any project, you should be extra cautious to ensure that you safeguard the data. Okay, that's number one thing, and that's called as PHI. Personal health information is very personal to me. Hence, whenever you take the data, even hospitals, we have worked with a hospital in Rajamandri, we have worked with Verinchi, Yashoda, etc., and Pathcare Labs, which is in the space of you know, lab testing and all that. It's very famous, Pathcare Labs, anyways. So when you try to get the data from those kind of sources, you have to ensure that you do not get the name or phone number or email ID of the patient. It should be detached from the data set. It could just refer to patient 1, patient 2 in that way. Otherwise, you'll be sued. And basically, they use PAC servers, right, to safeguard the data, hospitals. Okay, so that's one thing that we have to bear in mind, no matter what you do. On which patient did you test? Patient number 1. But it should not say that, hey, we have tested on Bharani Kumar. If that comes out, then you'll be in trouble. Okay, so we should not be disclosing the names of the people. All right, then that's all ethics related, obstacles, ethical issues, and limitations. And one more thing which is happening now is racial bias. When you perform a clinical trial, should you be performing clinical trial on only a specific race of people or only on a specific gender? Right? Not really. Why do you think clinical trials take a lot of time? Because you need to get that bias out of picture. You cannot say, hey, let me try only on the low income group people. All right. Probably they'll have different, genes. Probably they'll have different immunity levels. So you should not be having that bias when you do clinical trials. This is another thing which is ethically being spoken about in a very big way. And having said this, when it comes to developed countries such as US, they have a lot of programs: hospital value-based purchasing, hospital readmission reduction program, hospital acquired conditions, end stage renal disease, skilled nursing facility value-based program, home health value-based program, merit-based incentive payment system. All these are the various things using which they gauge the performance of hospitals. Pharmaceutical companies also are evaluated based on this. And then I can speak about one another thing which we have done in the space of pharmacy. Pharmacy does not really mean you'll be working only in the space of molecules, etc. Medicines manufacturing is also a very big thing. So you'll have all the machines which are manufactured, and okay, if I give the name of the drug, you'll be able to make out which company this is. So just by barring that, so what we have done is, for this particular pharmaceutical company, we have looked at what are the various medicines that they manufacture and what is the amount of downtime with respect to the machines. Means machines fail. If machines fail, for how many hours do they fail? What is the total downtime per month or per week? By getting that downtime information, you can figure out on which machines you need to first implement analytics. If you go to any pharmaceutical firm and say, hey, I'm going to implement analytics, they'll say, we are already doing a lot. We don't need your help. But then the moment you look at these kind of things, such as downtime of the critical machines and the medicines which are manufactured, what is the amount of shortage of those medicines, etc. As such, this medicine that I'm speaking about had a severe shortage. On top of that, they had a downtime of approximately, I think, 1.9 days per month. Already there is shortage, and you're losing approximately 2 days. So here is where we have taken the data from their SCADA machines, a computer, and then we have built prediction models to predict on when will the machines fail. Okay, so this is very, very important. And then there is something called as HIPAA, which you should know, right? HIPAA is a regulatory guideline which is going to guide you basically, right? So HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Oh, HIPAA, my bad. Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This has been revised multiple times, and then two of HIPAA's main components includes privacy rule and security rule. People keep interchangeably using these two, but privacy is different, security is different. Privacy rule is all about PHI that I've spoken about. Personal health information or protected health information, however you want to call that. That means your medical treatment, your medical bills, your healthcare operation, everything should be kept secret. It cannot be freely, shared with anyone, especially with the care providers and insurance plans. It meddles. I mean, insurance firms heavily meddle with this information. You should not be sharing it. You cannot. Right? So, healthcare providers and your insurance companies should abide by this in a very big way. And you should also protect your ePHI, electronic PHI data. For that, you have security rule. Administrative staff, physical staff, technical staff, right, should actually safeguard the data. And according to the website of US Department of Health and Human Sciences, health data scientists, right, if you're working as a data scientist in the space of life sciences and healthcare, you should abide by a specific laws. You have to ensure, it says that you have to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of all this information. And any breach, you have to immediately inform. Okay. Since then, there are a lot of bills which have been passed, which I can go on and on, but then I think it's not needed. The most recent thing is Affordable Care Act, Patient Protection Affordable Care Act. Okay, under this there are a lot of programs once again which we have. Okay. Next thing is, I'm sure you all are aware of the various acts which are available according to Food and Drug Administration, drug approval process. Once the drug is approved, does not mean it is foolproof. By law, if a doctor, physician is prescribing a medicine, and if that medicine is having some side effect on the patient, and if the patient reports it to the doctor, then doctor has to report it to adverse events. There is something called as adverse event section, which also falls under FDA. A lot of doctors and physicians fail to do it purposefully or otherwise. But if they fail to do it, then this medicine to be banned from the market, if you want to ban it, it will take a lot of time. And a lot of drugs have been banned based on just adverse events, data. Okay. So what you as a data scientist should do, right? For you as a data scientist, you have to first learn about the various data science concepts and AI concepts and deep learning concepts. And depending on the field that you work in, I'm sure you'll be working on structured data and also unstructured data. Unstructured data means images, etc. And to analyze this data, you need to understand various concepts, techniques, and algorithms which exist. And whenever you want to apply data science techniques, or when you want to apply for a data science position, you should not be confining yourself to only pharma, but look at what goes into the pharma raw materials. Okay. How are clinical trials performed? If you're putting that in the space of research here in pharma, that's fine. But what raw materials go in? What will come out? Okay, within pharma, what are the various departments which exist? You have to basically look at the entire value chain, and in each and every value chain there will be tons and tons of live project opportunities in the space of data science and AI. Okay, you should be making the best use of that by looking at the entire value chain. Very important. Next very important thing is, you all should be aware of the various laws that govern us. Two industries where the laws are very, very strict in relation to the other industries includes life sciences, healthcare for sure, and another thing is financial services insurance. These are the two things that exist. Okay, these are the two industries where laws are very strict. So you need to know those things, because you as a data scientist, you'll be penalized, right? They won't take it for granted if you say that, you know what, by mistake I shared the data with someone, yeah, etc. Okay, having said these, having spoken about all these things, quickly I would also like to show you one thing, because 170 people is what we have trained until now in the last 4 months. In what? In life sciences and healthcare analytics. In life sciences and healthcare analytics, we have trained so many people. What is it that you will learn is given here. All the modules. We have this training curriculum for dental sciences. BDS students are also joining. Pharmaceutical, a lot of them have joined, right? They learned a lot of, data modeling techniques for life sciences, healthcare, pharmacy, hospital management, the clinical trial stuff that I've spoken about. How do you apply deep learning? How do you work in the space of dental sciences? It's 40 hours plus 60 hours assignments plus 60 hours live project. That would come up to total 160 hours plus around 16 hours of R and Python programming. Okay. Having said this, let me take your questions. Yeah. You need some mathematical foundations for sure.
Bharani,
Yeah, yeah.
can I share the screen? I have collected some questions.
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. So I stop sharing. Over to you, Doctor. Yeah, I can see your screen. Yes.
These are the questions.
Okay, you said that AI are used in medical sciences, but by using AI or India, why can't make pharmacy dispensing units? They are doing, but it depends on a lot of things, Narendra. It's a journey, right? It's a specific journey. It's not going to be walk in the park. There is a lot of maturity which is needed in terms of laying the foundation, such as, first of all, the data collection mechanism should be right. Are we capturing all the data? I would be surprised to say that even if you look at some of the top notch pharmaceutical companies in India, their data collection mechanism is not extremely mature, right? So once that becomes mature, everything else will fall in place. Yeah, that's more about political related question that you have asked, but then that's my answer. Okay, Dr. Sanjita asks, how can we use AI in EMF radiation detection from mobile phones? Uh, Sorry. Okay, sure. Now I'm able to see. I think a few of you all have unmuted yourself. I'm unable to hear you guys. Not unable to hear, but then there's a lot of background noise. Can you mute? Enoch, is there an option for you to mute from your side?
Yes, on your bottom right, if you click on the names, you can just mute them on your screen.
Okay, wonderful. I have muted. Yeah, I've done that. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Mohan, can you please share your screen? I'm able to see your screen, but then I'm not able to see the document. I was able to see your screen.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible, but then the Word document you have to open. Yeah, thank you. How can we use AI in EMF radiation detection from mobile phones? So I'm sensing you mean electric and magnetic fields. There is some measure which is used. I have not extensively worked in this space, but there is some measure which is used to measure on beyond what score it is dangerous, beyond what it is below which it is safe. And then we use predictive modeling technique there to, it will become a multi-class classification problem given all the inputs, such as for how much time you're using the mobile, what is the battery life of that, so on and so forth. You can actually predict on whether it is going to be dangerous or are you falling in the safe zone or not. So you can do that. Can AI be used? Yes, yes, we can. And then once again, if you want to do that, Enoch, I request you to keep posting the YouTube channel link, etc. there, and keep asking people to subscribe. So there is a project that I've done, and then I've posted the video of that on YouTube channel. You can look into that. I'm from BTech Mechanical. Can it be useful for me? Mechanical, biomedical, yes, biomechanical. But then if you are working in the space of mechanical manufacturing of these pharmacy manufacturing equipment, or in those kind of spaces, yeah, it will be helpful, Ashok. But otherwise, no. Okay, how can we get started? See, whenever you get started on AI and data science program, just look at some educational institute. I'm not saying you have to enroll with us. I'm just saying that check whether they have the practical working experience or not. So whoever is training you, if they have the practical knowledge working on projects, then they'll add value. And obviously they start from scratch. So maybe you're from pharma, you don't have background, but that's okay. You can learn always. A mathematician needs what sorts of updations in technology to become data scientist. You need to understand how to scrape the data, how to clean the data, what kind of techniques to be applied, etc. What are the various databases which exist? Is the world moving towards cloud? Is life sciences, healthcare, analytics moving onto the cloud? These kind of questions you need to ask. But more than just technology, it's also the business aspects that you need to look at. And then next question is, which course about B pharmacy, if anyone choose data science as a career, required qualifications? Nothing. I mean, B pharmacy, which course after B pharmacy? Okay, it's the regular data science and AI trainings which usually happen. We have on our website specifically something called as life science healthcare analytics that could be handy to record everything of patient problem. Oh yeah, why not? It should be recorded. By law, it should be recorded, Vishnu. If you don't record, how would you even help that patient tomorrow? It has to be recorded in simple terms. Patient problems have to be recorded. Should that be disclosed to the outside world? No. Any chip or device to tell about washroom for a disabled child. We have worked something in the space of autism, but yeah, not just for disabled child, Aisha. There are for the regular people also. Human labor in stake if AI overtake. Not really, Kiran. These AI tools will help your human force. They will not completely replace. Okay, that's one thing. And how far patient data privacy is protected? To a great extent. Having dealt with the hospitals in India, I can say that getting data out for analysis is a nightmare. So they are very, very firm, very strict. Yeah, we do have Sumant. We do have trainings available. Most of pharmacy students do not have. No, don't worry about that. You need not be. You will not be deriving mathematical formulae. Okay, but you will be making use of techniques to solve the business problems. So that is what you need to focus upon. What in that case when a doctor needs to check patients physically, like in where physical examination? Yeah, so I didn't quite get your question. Yeah, if that is a process that has to be done, physical examination. Is it helpful? Yeah, it is very helpful for chemistry students also, because you guys come in very handy in terms of bringing a a stable molecule out. What are the jobs are replaced by AI in pharmaceutical industry in future? Again, it's not about replacing, it's all about complementing. AI will complement the workforce in pharmaceutical industry and in various other industries. And then I did my M-Pharmacy and working publishing company since this. I have completed data science course already and waiting for the certificate. I'm not able to get certificate due to COVID-19. What is the next step for me? Can I join as fresher? Not as a fresher. You'll be considered as an experienced professional only because you have the background of life sciences and healthcare, and that domain knowledge is very, very important. If someone hacks that chip, yeah, those chips are not chips that you can easily hack. Okay, and those chips, even if someone hacks, what max that they can do, they might burn it. Those are decomposable chips. Decomposable means after some time it will get decomposed and it gets excreted. So that means even if someone hacks, it could be for a brief period. What max can they do? Because even that if that chip burns out, it doesn't cause any harm. So they are thoroughly tested. Is there any jobs here? Oh my God, you have to check take any company, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Accenture, IBM, you name a company for that case in the space of pharmacy, right? In the space of IT consulting. When you look at the industries that they support, pharmaceutical is one big thing. Yep, I think.
That's it, Barney.
Yep, thank you so much. And I'll share my screen quickly. Friends, if you want access to this video, certainly we have this YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on subscribe. Here there is something called a subscribe button. Please click on subscribe here and you will be able to subscribe. And do you know what? We are also conducting free Python training starting from 3rd August. It'll be daily from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. If you are really interested in attending that, we will be posting the details on our social media. So those are a few things that I'm going to post here. Number one is the YouTube channel. Please subscribe. And any future sessions that happen, you will be notified. Okay, that's one thing. And next thing is we also have our Facebook page. If you want to attend the Python training, you please follow our page here, and I also have LinkedIn. You follow that, and then you would be notified about the free Python training, and you can just experience the Python programming and our programming. Yeah. With this, I would hand it over to Dr. Mohan. Dr. Mohan, over to you.
Thank you, Bernie. Really great pleasure to have Mr. Bharani Kumar with us. As a token of respect, we are releasing a guest certificate to Dr. Bharani. Bharani, please accept from our side as a token of respect to you.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohan. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Over to you, Satpati sir. Both of them.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dhaval Satpathy, Assistant Professor, Sri Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences. I'm here to propose the vote of thanks for and the concluding remarks for the successful webinar session conducted by Sri Vasavi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Tadepalligudam. At the outset, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our management committee members, Sri C.H.V.V. Subbarao Garu, Secretary Correspondent of Sri Vasavi Education Society, as well as C.H. Apparao, Technical Director, for their kind support and presence in this webinar session. I wish to express my profound gratitude to our Principal Sir, Dr. K. Srinivas, and organizing committee for conducting this webinar session on artificial intelligence and life sciences and its impact on pharma sector. I am happy to mention my deep sense of appreciation to our eminent speaker of this webinar session, Mr. D. Bharani Kumar, Director of InnoDataTechs, INC USA, for his elaborate talk on artificial intelligence in pharmaceutical industry, its scope and application in recent future. I am also thankful to Mr. Enoch and his team of 360 Digi TMG for their technical support during this webinar. My heartfelt thanks to all the faculty members, participants, and attendees of this webinar session for their patience, listening, and the question and answer session held must have cleared the doubts by our eminent speaker. Last but not the least, thanking you everyone for attending this session. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Bharani. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohan. And thank you all so much for providing this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bharani. Thank you, Enoch.